Say an intention, what's on your heart and what do you want to see in your life. If you personify your prayer or personify the, in my case, this sacred poem Japji, I talk to Japji as if it's essence, sacred essence in itself, which it is. And I say my intention and then I read. So that intention actually helps to organize, as I read, it helps to organize my brain waves. It helps to bring right and left, and also the spinal fluid and how it holds all the energy of my essence and my intention together. So actually it kind of like brings all of my universe together. And when you chant, you seem, it's a yin and yang together. And actually spirituality is the force that overrides anything. It can override physical, override emotional. It's really, really nice when you have a harmony between all the parts, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, soulful, including relationship with all the people. But spiritually is actually the highest vibration that does indeed override everything. Because in part, like spiritual gives you a fearlessness. It gives you fearlessness, freedom in terms of whatever happens, whenever happens, whatever conditions change. And it gives you freedom from the fear of death, of any kind of dying. So when you chant, you see your tongue is like a protruded organ. And when you chant, it strikes. So it actually is like yang, like masculine energy symbol. And for example, in Washington, D.C., that obelisk, erected structure is kind of like that masculine obelisk, masculine symbol. And the mouth, inside of the cavity of your mouth, is kind of like a cave, like a feminine principle. And so the tongue, masculine, strikes within the feminine cavity. So that's a tongue yang, moving, and cavity holding and giving the space for masculine to be. And so the space of the mouth and the tongue, they come together as you chant. And the tongue strikes the palate at the top. And as it strikes the palate, it actually gives the energy that goes directly to your pineal and pituitary in the middle of your brain. Pineal and pituitary. Behind your eyes, there is a sphenoid bone that holds it all together. And sphenoid bone is actually kind of like in a butterfly shape. You can Google sphenoid bone and see at the image how it looks. And so it's a butterfly bone, and it actually kind of like makes this milking action that actually gives energy and gives nutrition to your pineal and pituitary. And then those glands fill with a special hormone, bliss hormones. And the chanting immensely adds to that too, because the tongue keeps giving the energy to the top of the palate, and top of the palate sends that energy, transmits it to the pineal pituitary, and it overfills with bliss. And then as it fills with bliss, then it starts tipping, and as it tips, it starts dropping that bliss into the lower organs and lower glands. And so it goes to the thyroid and thymus and pancreas and kidneys and ovaries and prostate, depending on what sex you are, what gender you are. So chanting is immensely incredible for your health. And if you chant a poem like Japji, which is Song of a Soul, that is my best favorite poem to chant, and I totally deeply believe that it cleanses up the karma. You know, if you are like sorry of some actions, of your actions in the past, not I'm saying that I'm sorry, I'm very comfortable with my life, however it went, and all the directions that it went. But if you are like feeling like you've been unfair with some people and you feel kind of like still like guilt or blame, or personally carry some emotions that could be even inherited, like some fear, some anger. And if you want to get rid of it, like I believe reading any prayer or any chant and repeating it like 108 times, or maybe giving yourself time, 31 minutes, 62 minutes, maybe even up to 2.5 hours if you have a desire to do that. But the chanting does cleanse your karma immensely and also prepares your future. What else it does, the chanting? Tongue doesn't have bones, right? Any of your organs, take lungs, heart, ovaries, kidneys, bladder, any organ that you have, it doesn't have bones, right? It doesn't have bones. And they actually have the most nutrition, they hold most nutrition. The tongue has the points in it that correspond to all the organs, any organ that you have in your body. So when you chant endlessly, a long time, as you exercise your tongue, and especially chanting Indian, you know, there are such sounds that it's like such conglomerates of syllables and vowels that you have to keep repeating, and so it's kind of like breaking your tongue to repeat them, even to say them. But meanwhile, the tongue gets quite a bit of exercise trying to immediate those sounds. And as your tongue says it, it actually energizes your tongue, and at the same time it energizes all of your organs. All of your organs get energized by chanting. This video was just sharing with you about how the snake plant and the prayer plant can live together. Miracle of the Pi water that enabled my prayer plant to bloom now for 3 or 4 months, like endless, non-stop. And before, it didn't bloom for 5 or 6 years. And also this video was about how to chant with enveloping your own resources of healing and better life for yourself, whatever direction you are headed in your life. And dissolving your karma by the way of a chant, by the way of saying your intention before you chant. I'm glad to the opportunity that I did have a chance to share with you a little bit tonight. Have a good night, YouTube land. I love you very much. And be well and be blessed. And many kisses.